get in.
But yeah, eventually he will. All right, we've got a couple of special guests in studio. You've heard us on many occasions. We've had Jeff Goodman, the stadium. He's also the Field of 68, that podcast that he does sometime late into the night to wrap up a college basketball day. He is in studio with us, and his daughter Talia is here as well, visiting Baylor University, and of course here as well for the game tomorrow morning between Baylor and Texas in the Big 12. And Jeff Goodman, Talia here, both of you here. I know you've had a long day with travel these days.
Yeah, it's not easy to get here from Boston, and we were delayed an hour with, what was it, mechanical something?
Yeah, I think like the power went out on the plane. It was bad.
I don't know.
That's never good.
And then they kept you on that plane.
And we were in the emergency row
They
too.
they said we could get off the plane and come back. We stayed on. I've had, knock on wood, good luck with travel. All the travel I do, like, I very rarely have issues like this. But we got in, we flew into Austin, we came here. And honestly, and I've said this over and over to people, you know, nobody has been better to Talia than Scott Drew.
He's the best.
I mean, we're on a group chat, and he will text her, not me, over and over and over. You know, I'm at the UConn Marquette game 2 nights ago, and we're already planning. Obviously, we've made our plans to come out here, and I didn't want to bother him before they were playing Kansas State. Right, I didn't want to bother him. I was like, all right, let's get through the Kansas State, make sure they win, and then I'll hit him up on Thursday to just kind of check into what's going on. He's texting me during the UConn Marquette game that I'm at, you know, when are you coming in? What's your itinerary? We got surprises for Talia. Like, and again, what I try to tell everybody, and I fell for it early. Everybody, we all did. I think we all fell for it the first few times we met Scott Drew. Right? This can't be real. There's no way this dude is real. He's real. Talia, is he real?
No, when I'm telling you, I get like 2-minute voice messages from him, like bi-weekly, of him telling me like, you better come down to Baylor. You better get down here. So I did it. I came down because, you know, getting those voice messages makes my day.
And you're not just to Craig. You're not going to play point guard for him or anything like that.
We'll see.
This is just, but this
maybe
is,
by the end of this,
yeah,
you might have a spot.
This
is-
If LJ Cryer and them don't come back, you might be.
Exactly. I'm the replacement. You'll see me out there tomorrow.
But I mean, that just kind of goes to show you what he is. He's enthusiastic about a student coming to Baylor.
He said how excited, and honestly, I think it's completely real. And you know, as a father, you never, I mean, this trip, like, you can't put a price on this trip for me. In 7 months, she's going to college, and I don't know if she's going to come back after college. So this trip to me, a work trip, I'm not working. I'm just watching her. You know, he's got it so she's going to shadow Chris Budden. Like he talked to Chris Budden, the sideline reporter tomorrow, who does a hell of a lot better job than I ever did at sideline. And he already talked to her about that Talia would shadow her because she thinks she wants to get in this industry. I've tried to talk her out of it. It hasn't worked so far.
We're talking to Jeff Goodman and Talia Goodman in town. So this is a recruiting trip for her as a student to come to Baylor. There is a game, and we're going to get back to you in a minute, no question, but there is a game tomorrow, and Texas may have gotten their mojo going even after the loss to Texas Tech, and maybe that sparked them a little bit. And Baylor's trying to get back. Not sure about LJ Cryer yet, but that was a big win they had. Every win in the Big 12 was big. Your thoughts about this kind of something's got to give here?
Well, I was at the game in Lubbock, the Texas Tech
I remember,
game. It might have been the best atmosphere maybe I've ever been in. Now, again, I kind of like it when fans are mad and upset, and it adds a different element than we see. I've been at Carolina Duke games multiple times, Kentucky Louisville games multiple times at both venues. This had something that those did not, the hatred, pure hatred. And it was fun to be at in a way, to see that, especially after really not being on the road the last couple of years as much as usual. I was impressed. Here's what I was impressed with. I thought Texas was soft coming in, mentally soft. And you know what they showed me? They weren't going to get blown out in that game. They didn't win, but they hung around. They took the punches, and they played in probably the most hostile environment I've seen in the last 10 years, and they at least hung around. And then they punched back, obviously, in the last game, right? So this is a team that Chris Beard, He's back in Texas. He's in a new spot, which is his old spot, with all new faces and trying to establish a culture there. So you got to give him time. Like, too many people are saying, well, pressured. He hasn't done this. They're not that good. Well, yeah, he took a bunch of dudes out of the portal that were losing players. Like, they're probably not going to be great. I made a mistake ranking him second in the preseason. I made him based on Chris Beard. He's that good a coach, in my opinion. Well, the other guy going against them is that good a coach tomorrow.
What does Baylor have to do to get there? It looks like maybe against Kansas State, they started to turn the corner defensively back to what they were doing. Now, that could have just been the matchups, but offensively, they cannot do what they did before, where they have 5-minute stretches where it is just bullet, 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 bullet.
Well, I mean, they got to get their mojo back, which means they got to get healthy, right? You go down where you had two perimeter guys a few games ago healthy. Cryer, I don't know how much longer it's going to be for him. Akinjo still doesn't look like he's got it back. And I've talked to Sean Miller about Akinjo plenty, and he says he'll be streaky at times. His shot will kind of go, and then when it comes back, he'll start to get that confidence back and make a bunch of shots. I just think they got to play together again, right? They were without Sohan for a while. Flagler still probably not 100%. I wouldn't worry. I'm not worried as long as in 2 weeks, Cryer is back. He's got a couple games maybe under his belt going into Big 12 tournament. I think this team still has as good a chance as any. I guess I would say Gonzaga, Kentucky, Baylor. Those are the three. If you're telling me, hey, your house is on the line, you got to put money on one team or three teams. To me, again, Gonzaga, Kentucky, Baylor. Baylor just got to get healthy.
Yeah, they were 15-0 when they were healthy, and now they've had these injuries. What are your thoughts on Matthew Meyer? I know he's a bit of a lightning rod. Not a great night for him in Manhattan. I think going into this year, there was almost, and maybe unfairly, expectations of like, okay, he's going to become the guy. Yeah. And he's just maybe not supposed to be the guy. What are your thoughts on that?
On some nights he can be the guy. He just can't consistently be the guy. And that's fine if you have a healthy Flagler and a healthy Cryer, right, and a healthy Akinjo. He doesn't have to be the guy. But in 2 of 6, if you're going to say they're going to have a chance of playing the championship game, 2 of 6 of those games can he go for 18. And if he can, the other nights, he can go for 4, 6, 8, and you're okay, as long as he's not going, 2 for 12 or something like that. Be efficient. I don't care if you pass up decent shots. Let somebody else score 18 or 20. That's the beauty of this team when they're healthy. Like, I love Kendall. I think he makes every right play. This dude could be playing for everybody to say, well, why is he a lottery pick? Look at his numbers. Yeah. He could be thinking that way and saying, you know what? I'm going to go get mine. He never does. He always makes the right play, and I think part of it is the culture at Baylor.
Yeah, and he's kind of almost unselfish, which is kind of, they went through some guys early on or in the early part of the 2010s where they had some possible one-and-dones. Some of them were okay. Yeah. Some of them weren't really ever as good as everyone thought.
In recruiting, I knew Quincy Miller.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew him well, and I was like, I don't think he's really a Baylor-type guy. Yeah. They kind of got away from, I think, but again, it's hard these days. It's really hard to know who you want to recruit and again, be able to get that guy. Now they have the momentum to be able to say, hey, you know what? These are the guys we want. And even if they're ranked in the top 25, we got a chance to get them. For the longest time, I remember when I wrote the story after they beat Villanova in Myrtle Beach, I wrote a story saying, like, it had been a long time since they had gotten a top 50 player. And they'd done pretty well without those elite level guys. Now they're starting to get them again, but they're getting the right ones for them.
Talia, okay, so Indiana is part of your. You're going to put up one of those top 5 like the athletes do, and who would it be?
So he's going to make me do my college decision in some elaborate way. So
she's going to do it on the field of 68. She's got to do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Are we doing hats?
We'll figure it out. He's going to go crazy with it. We'll see.
Listen, I only have one kid.
Him, right?
I have one kid. We got to do it. We got to have some fun with it. That's my big thing. Again, I'm gonna cry like a baby when I got to drop her off.
It's part of it, man.
I'll film it. I'll get it on
No,
tape.
we don't
I'll
need-
post
No,
it.
absolutely, and tweet me, and we'll retweet it.
Yeah,
So
it'll go viral.
what's it like to have Scott Drew? Here's a guy that just won the national title, or if he'd not won it, just to have him interested in what's good for you or possibly an option for you.
So the day after they won the national championship, he actually texted my dad and was like, "When's she gonna interview me? Can we go on today?" And I'm like, "This is literally like he was up all night. Like, why are you thinking about me right now?" Like obviously I talked to him a lot, but he's such a genuine guy, and like I visiting here and meeting him, like I feel like I've met him 20 times even before I saw him, and I'm so glad to be here actually seeing him for the first time. It's great.
Yeah. So have you interviewed him yet? Have you done anything like that? Have you gotten to sit down or?
Not in person. I've done it a few times before. Hopefully post game tomorrow, if all goes well, we'll do a good sit down interview.
Yeah, and Chris Budden's going to help. That's great. The shadowing part of it, that's incredible. Because, I mean, think about a lot of people who are trying to get in the business, women who are trying to become courtside reporters, sideline reporters, whatever, that opportunity. That's awesome. Jeff Goodman, Talia Goodman in studio with us on Sikkim 365 Radio.
How surprised were you by Oklahoma beating Tech earlier this week, or is that, again, just life in the Big 12?
Yeah, I think it's like the Big 12. Home game. You know, Texas Tech's had a gauntlet lately. Not a letdown game, but, you know, I think their defense failed them when it came to defending Mosier Gibson. You know, he went off for 30.
He's from Waco.
He's really good.
Yeah.
He's really good, and they did a good job with him early in his career at right, he was at North Texas.
Yeah.
Right, with Grant. So, I think, again, I don't think Texas Tech, especially without a healthy Terrence Shannon, like they're good. Their defense is really good. Offensively, they weren't making shots that game at all. I think they were like 2 for 17 or 2 for 18 from 3. So I don't think there's a lot of disparity in the middle of the league. I still think, listen, to me, I'm taking Baylor to win the league. I am. I think they're the best team in the league when they're healthy. And again, one of the top 3 or 4 teams in the country because I think they have all the pieces. Again, they got good guards. Yeah, they may not have, you know, like a truly Kendall's going to be their highest, you know, draft pick. We know that. But they may not have that dominant player, but they got enough dudes who can make plays. And they're all different, and they play for each other. Akinjo is so tough. I just want to see him get back. I think that's the biggest thing with me was he was the best point guard in the country probably the first 6-8 weeks, and then he gets injured, and now he's looked like kind of you don't know what you're going to get out of him. So I think tomorrow's going to be big against a Texas team that, again, has a lot to prove now and has some swagger. They really haven't had swagger all year.
Well, you had talked about how they didn't have really a quality win, even though they're in the Big 12, and now they have that. And
they have what, 4? They had one quad 1 win, and now they have 4.
Yeah, they haven't beaten anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw them at Gonzaga early. They got crushed. Then I see him at Texas Tech. So Beard probably doesn't want tomorrow. He's probably going to look at me and be like, "Can you please leave?" Like, every time I see you, it's bad news.
Yeah, Jeff, does Remy Martin coming back change Kansas, given the fact that he hasn't played that much?
No, I've honestly kind of given up on that. I really have. Between the injury, and I think it's more of, I don't know if it's a rift between him and Bill Self, but let's face it, at Arizona State, Remy Martin had the ultimate green light. He could do whatever he wanted. I actually just had dinner with Bobby Hurley last week in Phoenix, and we were talking about that, and it's just a completely different role and style of play, how Bill Self wants to utilize Remy Martin. And Remy Martin, I don't know if he fits that. How do you change that? 4 years. You've got 4 years of playing one way, and all of a sudden, same thing with Marcus Carr. Same deal. You know, you're going to take him and completely try to deprogram and reprogram how he plays in 8 months. Good luck. Probably not going to happen. And, you know, Marcus Carr, I think, has done a lot better job than Remy Martin has, but he struggles with it as well. Motion offense, how to play off the ball at Texas, where Minnesota, it was, hey, man, we need you to make all those contested shots he makes. Minnesota said, you know what, we'll live with them. Texas, I don't know if they can. Chris Beard doesn't live with them quite the same way.
I just put up the picture of you two in the studio. Live people are responding. Arkansas fans are going to burn down the studio.
Oh,
Did
no.
you see Clint Sterner's mother? No. You have to watch her. She's a riot.
Is she like the Alabama fan during football season? That girl, that lady that calls like, what's his name show?
Yes. No. What did she say? I'm going to whip.
Something ab-
Can I say
yeah.
whoop that?
Yeah,
You know what?
yes, you're
on the internet,
yeah.
so
She said, "Hey Goodman, I'm gonna whoop that ass. I'm gonna come to your house in Boston. I'm gonna whoop that ass."
I'm a
She's
little
got to be.
scared.
How old is she?
She's got to be pretty old.
She's like, God, I know. But she's a riot, and
Oh,
she's drinking
yeah.
a beer. She's drinking like a Coors Light.
Got a hat on and
He
everything.
does a great radio show down in Houston. Clint
Yeah.
does, yeah.
Clint's awesome.
Yeah.
And I love Clint.
Yeah.
So it's kind of half jokingly, but she's a riot. So if they lose tomorrow at Alabama, you better believe there's going to be a video rebuttal by.
I know you guys are on a recruiting trip. You have much more to do. Plus, you need to kind of get your legs on the ground. It's been a long day. Good luck with what you have. What do you think of the campus so far?
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And the weather is crazy
Oh,
coming from
yeah.
Boston.
I know.
like,
I'm in a sweatshirt.
I
I'm
got
like,
a feeling
gotta
Scott
shorts.
might have had something to do with the weather as well. My
no,
God.
he did it just for us.
No,
It's like-
You missed our yearly freeze by a week.
I heard.
Yeah, so-
Pretty bad.
No, this was beautiful, and the campus is gorgeous. We've met some great people already that have taken Talia on a tour, of all the facilities for the most part. And listen,
great.
it's all about her. It's all about her.
Yeah, well, hopefully that construction's done soon. I know that's been going on for a
It's
little
hard
while.
to drive.
It was
Yeah, to
hard
get
to
in.
travel.
I'm going to help you on,
Every day, it's an adventure on how long it's going to take to get here.
Hey,
yeah,
we had something called the Big Dig in Boston.
Oh, I heard about that.
It literally outlasted for 15 years. I'm not lying. I'm not exaggerating. 15 years in downtown Boston it took. So what you have, trust me, it's
not bad.
No.
All right, when I walk you out, I'm going to try to help you get back to wherever the hell you need to go. But seriously, you guys could have just said nah, or you could have done a phone or what. We appreciate it. Hope
No,
you've enjoyed
come
it.
on.
Yeah.
I'm happy to go.
We have pizza ready. One of our
this
viewers
is-
from Ohio ordered pizza from a sponsor here in Texas
Listen,
for
we're
the show.
having, where we're having dinner. We're having dinner with guess who?
Yeah,
Scott Drew.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the other thing. It's not BS. Like you come in and it's not about just saying, "Hey, come in,"
and then disappear.
correct.
It's not he's not giving you a photo op.
Yeah.
No, there's
Yeah.
none of that.
No.
He doesn't care. He's not taking pictures. Like that's not him. It's genuine. It's genuine, and I'm telling you, you talk to more and more coaches around the country, and they will all say the same thing about Scott Drew now. And years ago, it was the opposite. It was the two things, right? Well, I don't think it's genuine. And what was the other one?
Yeah, he's cheating.
Well, that too. Yes, that was number two. Number three, you can't coach.
Can't coach.
Can't coach.
And
Scott Drew can't coach.
He just
Right?
checked all those off.
Yes. Isn't it amazing?
It
How
is,
much
yeah.
does winning the national championship, other than just success, also make people go, man, he's doing it? He can say whatever he wants. He's got to be he's a hell of a coach. Hell of his record
Especially
against the elite.
with guys that weren't number one recruits,
Yep.
right? They weren't top 10. I mean, look at who he had: Jared Butler. Guys that he developed, right? Guys they either got over transfer. Flagler from Presbyterian. Davion didn't play at Auburn. I mean, all these dudes. Most of them weren't guys that everybody else wanted. So I think there's such a respect level. There was always a respect level for Scott and his staff and how they worked, especially like Tang, Mills. And I knew I was in the gym with all of them all the time because I was covering recruiting at the time. But it was always like, if Baylor beat you for a player, what was it? They're cheating.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
cheating.
the thing that was always funny, we were at Cowboys training camp one time, and somebody from Dallas came up and said, "How is he doing it with these recruits?" And it was one of the years that they'd gone to the Elite Eight, and I was like, "What recruits are you talking about?" Torian Prince, who was going to LIU Brooklyn, or
Right.
I mean, he really went in and swooped them away from LIU Brooklyn. That was just. Nobody really thought like, oh, this Torian Prince guy is great. I wonder
Royce
what
O'Neal, who transfers
from Denver or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, come on.
And so
What are we talking about?
yeah, so but people must have thought like, oh, he got these guys away from Kentucky and
Yeah,
Duke. Like, no, Denver.
All right, go enjoy dinner, enjoy the weekend, enjoy the game, enjoy your trip, and good luck with your decision, whatever decision that might be.
Thanks
you
for
so
having
much.
us.
Talia,
guys.
Jeff,
Really,
thank
really
you. The
appreciate
Goodmans
it.
in studio,
Great studio.
live, Sikkim 365 Radio and 365 Sports. Ideal MRI.